The Boys and the Pastille. Two boys, having nothing to do one Sunday night, they couldn't play around the gas lamps which were not lighted because of Zepps, went into a church. During the service, one of the boys, having a cold, coughed very badly, and an old lady sitting behind him passed him a pastille. He bit it in two parts and gave one to the other boy. All the boys in the village got to hear of the story of the pastille, and having made sure of the church, and which old lady had the sucks, they flocked in a crowd on the following Sunday night. They crowded the seat before the old lady, and soon after arriving all commenced to cough. But the old lady on this occasion had forgotten her pastilles. Our story begins on the second Sunday night. The organist had gone to the war, and the deputy was only sure of two pedals, the bottom one, and a fifth above. The preacher enters. The boys enter, scampering up the aisle. The verger says, "Be quiet, naughty boys!" The boys turn round and find the lady. They cough. Was looking at the lady, but the lady said, "I've left them at home." Discomfiture of the boys. The verger loses his breath. The verger recovers it. The boys run out, followed by the verger. Organist sleeps. The Butterfly's Waltz. A butterfly on wing is chased by a wasp. The butterfly flitters round a rose garden, always followed by the wasp. The butterfly discovers two lovers hidden behind a rose tree in an arbour. She is about to scream to them like a parrot, "I'll tell your mother," when the wasp comes and drives her away. So she doesn't scream, but passes disgusted into a vegetable garden and perches upon a nice fat broccoli. Thinks she, "Here I will lay my eggs." Just as she is about to put the thought into execution, a naughty boy passes and knocks her off with his cap. The butterfly flutters. She moves. But here's a wasp. She moves again. But wasp! Still, she becomes more daring and... wasp! She grows more confident. She discovers two lovers behind a rose bush. She is about to exclaim, "I'll tell your mother," when the wasp... Like a beautiful white aeroplane, she hangs suspended over the garden hedge. She flutters into a vegetable garden and spies a beautiful broccoli and alights to lay her eggs, which she hopes will soon be caterpillars, when a naughty boy hits her with his cap. Venus and a Bobby. In the black darkness of the city's suburban streets, there gleams a mysterious red light. It is not still, but moves. As we approach the light, we find underneath it the face of the representative and embodiment of the ponderous British law. It is a Bobby. How queer is the law which needs a red light? Whilst we are in bed, he stands there unseen and often ignored, securing our safety. As the light leans at an angle, we may imagine that he is soliloquizing upon his shoelaces or his socks. On this night so full of terrors, he has been warned that a Zepp is somewhere. He looks above him occasionally, as though looking for a moth. Suddenly a light flashes from a bedroom window opposite. Thinks he, "Bedad, a German spy," says he, "but it cannot be in the presence of the law." He gazes at the light, or where it comes from, and begins to lick his lips. For instead of a spy, he sees in the lighted room the beautiful figure of a lady placing her hat upon her head. He recognizes her as the Venus he had seen at the opera. His truncheon falls to the ground. He is entranced. Like Tannhäuser, he loses himself. In a fit of enraged passion, he exclaims, "How I would woo thee!" and lies back, propped up by the gas lamp. Suddenly the light from the window is switched off, and as suddenly his senses return in realizing that the Venus may be descending to leave the house. Gathering himself together, he rushes to the door, which suddenly opens, and the sergeant calmly walks out. Bobby, disconsolate, looks at him and says, "Kiss me, sergeant." The sergeant, laughing, replies, "As you like it." The Bobby stands in the silent night. He hears a noise above, looks up, says he, "Was that a Zepp?" Still and quiet again it is. The awful silence, standing in the street. Cold too it is, and the rain. A light gleams from the window opposite. "It must be a German spy," says he. "No, it isn't," says he. Through the rain, he recognizes in the light the figure of a beautiful lady he has seen at the opera in the part of Venus. As she puts on her hat, she seems to be humming her part at the opera. His heart yearns for love. It would burst with passion. He swoons, leaning against a lamppost. Poor Bobby, alone in the black darkness, with the lady shining above him. Again he gazes and sees her hand move towards the electric switch. The light goes out and Venus descends the stairs. He crosses the road to meet her at the door. Bobby is all excitement. He hears footsteps coming downstairs and rushes to the door. It does not open. He hits it with his truncheon. He shouts, "Open the door, oh my love!" The door slowly opens and the sergeant of police comes out. He looks at Bobby and laughs. Bobby is rather disconsolate. Bobby to sergeant, "Kiss me, sergeant." Sergeant to Bobby, "As you like it."